Hello, folks, and welcome to the Ben Radio Show. You know, we're out in the outdoors there where we shut down the tractor, though. We'll pull the big rig over, get out of the office, and share those other parts of life with us outside where you never know what's coming around the bend. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck. As always, we love hearing from you. Comments, stories, ideas. Get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-BEND. That is 305-900-2363. Or drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. Joining me again this week, as always, producer, sound engineer, and co-host is Jeff Tigger Erhardt. And you know what, Tigger? Before we jump into it, let me just give everybody a quick tease of what we have going on this show, because there's a lot. Okay, get this. We're going to be covering in the show something for everybody. We're talking outdoor news, of course, but get this. We're going to spotlight one heck of a fishing story you're going to want to hear. We're going to have photo tips for using your phone to capture those trophies that you're taking right now, as well as how to capture those great photos for your upcoming holiday photo cards. Make the family happy, you know?
Let's hurry up because let's go deer hunting. Let's hurry up.
And I have a hunter chili dip that's going to win over everybody at the holidays this year. So let's get rolling. First off, as some of us are excited, rifle season is kicking off. And you know what? Tigger, I wanted to throw out some of these quick 5 things to keep in mind, whether you are new to hunting or you are somebody who has been along for the ride for years and years. Know what? Regardless, always find a mentor. Have somebody to enjoy the experience with.
That's number 1.
Yes.
Find a mentor. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Yep.
Number two, safety. Your first priority. Make sure your
That's
gear
one.
is well
That's
in check.
1.
Next one, remember, whatever you're out there going after, chasing after, don't measure your success by what you harvest, okay? You're supposed to be out there to enjoy what you are doing and to be patient. That's number 4. Have patience. If you don't fill your tag, if you don't succeed at doing maybe what you went out to do, that doesn't matter. It's all about being in the moment and enjoying what you're doing out there. And lastly, make sure you research your state's regulations. They are always changing. And if you are hunting somewhere that you may have, even if it's somewhere you've hunted your whole life, always double check with that landowner. Again, check with the regulations just to make
those have
sure
changed, because
you're
we've
okay.
seen in our state those have changed dramatically, but they've changed considerably. So can I throw one in there too?
You got it.
Don't forget your gun. We just talked with Rick, and he said, I was hunting here recently, and we went out, and they forgot their gun.
Oh, my God.
They were all so excited. I've never done that.
I thought you were going to say, don't forget your orange, but that's pretty good. Don't forget your gun.
Don't forget your gun.
Don't forget your firearm.
Don't forget your gun.
All right, let's head to the spotlight. Our spotlight today takes us to Florida, where we're focusing on Julie Augustine. She's a 40-year-old Florida resident who made headlines last month for pole spearing a 37.6-pound black drum fish. But this wasn't just any normal old pole spearing activity. She's also 8 months pregnant at the time that she did this. Yes. So Julie Augustine, get this, 8 months pregnant when she snagged this huge fish during a free dive. The current world record, by the way, for a black drum caught by a woman using a sling or pole spear is 36.3 pounds. She got one that was 37.6 pounds, so over a pound bigger than the world record. Augustine also, by the way, is a physician assistant and Air Force veteran. She said she picked up pole spearing to stay active during the COVID-19 pandemic, and now the sport has become a form of self-care during her pregnancy. Augustine had this to say about the activity. When you actually spear the fish, of course, there's that adrenaline spike there. But as far as free diving goes, you have to be in an almost meditative state where you're slowing down your breathing and you're slowing down your heart rate. One of the best things that you can do in pregnancy is to de-stress and remain calm. Augustine went on to say, I've been approached by several individuals, women, who will come up and share how inspiring my story has been to them and how it's motivated them to get off the couch and do something they wouldn't have normally done after reading what I was able to do while pregnant. That's one of the most beautiful, special things to come out of this. Well, for those of you that are wondering, Julie Augustine has submitted her application, is waiting to hear back from the IUSA's board that determines if this is a new world record. And for now, the pole spear enthusiast is currently taking a break since she's due here in about a week, November 15th, and she plans to name her future son Finn. Regardless, congratulations, Julie Augustine, on the black drum, the new baby, and thank you for your service to our country. Great spotlight this week, sent in by one of our listeners too, by the way. So now I challenge everyone, if you hear of something spotlight worthy just like this, send us those pictures, the information, and tag at The Ben Show on social media. You just might be our next spotlight shout out or even as a guest on this show.
Hey, Beck, Sean with Toxic Calls up here in Washington State, but we're finally starting to see some ducky weather. That makes us pretty stinking happy, although it's been nice. Been pretty warm temps, highs in the 60s, lows in the high 40s, low 50s. So we've been able to get a lot of good stuff done around the farm. We've been able to do a lot more fishing than I thought we'd be able to do too with this weather. So that's been nice. The salmon fishing, the coho has been absolutely on fire. But we've got some cold temps coming. Looks like overnight lows in the 20s, daytime highs getting right about 40 degrees. So that's about perfect for us to go run the river and chase these ducks around. So wanted to call and give an update while I had a minute running down the road. We appreciate you and look forward to Saturday mornings and listening to your show in the duck blind. So guys, keep up the great work. We will talk at you later. Thank you. Bye.
Our news story today revolves around turkey prices. Yes, I know you heard me say that, turkey prices. And I'm bringing this up because if you have a turkey tag, folks, you're going to want to get it filled. According to CNBC, they are reporting that turkey prices in the stores have risen quite a bit from this time last year. They're saying that industry insiders blame this on the bird flu and that approximately 47.6 million birds were affected in 2022, as well as the rise in turkey feed. Now this is to CNBC. Last year, the average price across the nation, according to them, was $1.15 per pound on an 8 to 16 pound turkey. Well, I checked locally where I am, and this week I could purchase a like bird from, say, Walmart, for example, and it was right around $1.30 a pound, so about 15-cent jump. So regardless, just depending on where you're at, keep your eyes open. But if you have those tags, there you go. You just got one more reason to make sure you get out in the field and fill your wild turkey tag this year.
So you can confirm where we're at. It has gone up.
I can.
A tick. Okay, got it.
I know we're covering a lot here today, folks, but stay with us because when we come back, I'm going to be talking about some photo tips using your cell phone that you're not going to want to miss. You're going to want to know how to use this as you're heading out, especially going after those trophies or wanting to take that last-minute family photo. Plus, I'm going to have a great recipe, how to use up some of the leftover chili. You know what I'm talking about. Stay where you are. The Ben will be right back.
It's super easy to get a hold of Beck, and we want to hear any story that you may have or just what's happening around your bend. 305-900-2363. That's the hotline. Leave a message. Send a text. 305-900-2363.
Hey everybody, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Join us every week as we travel the back roads and backwaters in search of the ultimate outdoor adventure. You can find us on KOTVchannel.com, YouTube, and our local stations.
Marlo Anderson here, and believe it or not, I am the National Day Calendar creator. We are the calendar that brings you National Donut Day to Coffee Day and everything in between. Subscribe to National Day Calendar and never miss a reason to celebrate every day.
Add a little heat to those burgers and brats. Add some Mickey's Mustard or some Mickey's Hot Mustard to your summer cooking. Ain't nothing like it. Mickey's Mustard. That's MICKEYSMUSTARD.com. Mickey's Mustard.
Waterfowl, turkey, deer. ToxicCalls.com offers all of the various styles of calls needed to take your hunt to the next level when you create, quite simply, the most real sound yet. American made to boot. Order today. ToxicCalls.com.
Little Rack Taxidermy. Be it a youth's first hunt or a trophy of a lifetime, let it be something you always remember.
Reach out to Little Rack Taxidermy on Facebook and have Heather bring back that natural look. That's Little Rack Taxidermy.
Welcome back to the Bend Radio Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and sitting shotgun here with me is Jeff Tigger Erhardt. And we're going to talk about something that's going to probably have you first go and say, what? Because I'm going to tell you to get out your phone, your cell phone. I know. You hear me say this. Disconnect from the world and connect with the outdoors or the ones you're with all the time, right? Well, the only reason why I want you to take a few minutes to play with your cell phone is that because you know what? 9 times out of 10, unless you've got a really cool, crazy Aunt Beck like me or a Tigger in your life that are carrying along a big old actual camera, you're going to use that phone to capture the proof that the 30-point buck or
right
was shot or whatever else might catch your attention. The amazing sunrises to sunsets this time of the year. It's just best to know just a little more on how to use some of those features you just might not typically use on the fly. Make a little sense there? All right, let's start off with the timer. And by the way, all of these ideas I'm giving you, take mental note because I'm sure you may be wanting to take a family photo too, and these all apply as well. So first off the list is the timer.
Do they all, most phones have all this stuff?
Phones have timers. We used mine just recently to grab a great picture of our pheasant hunting party, and we had 10 of us. So do some quick test runs. Find out if you can judge what the timer difference is on yours, and if you need everyone to hold a smile for 5, 10, or 15 seconds. Okay, next, focus. Be familiar with how to move the focus on your camera. Yes, there is a focus on your camera if you weren't aware. If you've never tried it, open that camera app right now with me. Open it up on your phone. Now point at it in an object in front of you. Now, typically by taking one finger, you can tap on that object that you want to focus on and get the phone to focus just a tick better than it would if you would have just pointed generally. Voila, who would have thought?
I'm doing it as we speak. And I thought I knew everything about this.
Next one. Now this one, pay attention. It's the zoom. Okay. Now you may have to double check and make sure that you know which mode your camera is to even be able to use the zoom on your camera. Depending on it, sometimes you might have selections easy on the bottom bar that say a single take or photo mode, video, and then there's also those little dots that sometimes say more options. Well, a lot of times there's only certain modes that allow you to use zoom. I know the normal take your picture one will let you, but however, like the single take will not. So that's why make sure your phone is, and you know which modes will allow for zoom. Now here's the next thing. If you've never used your zoom, pretty easy. You just take your 2 fingers and you're able to, zoom in like you would on anything else in your other apps. So when you look at your pictures, it works the same on your photo app. However, I want you to take notice of how much you're zooming. You'll see little numbers on there and they'll say 1 times the power, 1.5, 2 times the power. Okay, here's where I want you to make a mental note. For example, if you're zooming in and there's a nice buck that's standing about 30 yards away from you.
Okay.
This is a good, well, I'm telling you, all right, most of the times, let's be real, it's going to be more like 100 yards away from you so they don't see what you're doing. But here's an example of if you put the zoom at, say, 2 times power and then make sure you focus it on said object and take the picture. Because the megapixels are so high on today's cell phones, you technically don't have to zoom all the way in the max amount that your phone allows you to. Who would have thought? But the reason why you don't want to do that is because you aren't able to hold that phone steady enough when you're zoomed all the way out. So just zoom it to around 2.5, and you'll capture a great picture, and you can crop it later to get the actual picture you want. So now I know a lot of you know how to already do this, or your kids are very capable of showing you how, but sometimes it doesn't hurt to have a refresher course and hear it from somebody else. Heading to the phone lines here quick is Justin Hampton from Ozark Traditions TV with this field update.
We just ended this last weekend the Missouri youth rifle season, and it looks like the numbers are pretty good. We've seen a lot of first-time harvest, which is great for the youth, get the kids out and get them involved in hunting as much as possible. But now we're looking forward towards Missouri rifle season, which is coming up November 12th, and the deer is not moving as good this time of year. They're kind of starting the lockdown phase with all the acorn still. They're still in the woods a lot. They're coming out in the green fields more of the evening. Just being out in the woods and with the youth season, bucks are starting to trail does pretty hard. So it's really heated up in the last few weeks down here in Missouri, and I think we're going to have a really good Missouri rifle season. So I think we'll have some good numbers. We'll wait and see.
Thanks, Justin Hampton, again from Ozark Traditions TV with that field update out of Missouri. We sure do appreciate it. Stay with us, folks. When we come back from the break, we've got a recipe you're going to want to hear. It's going to use up that leftover Hunter's chili that you've got. That's right. I'm making a Hunter's
If it is leftover.
7-layer
If
dip.
it is leftover.
So you didn't even get to hear what the title of it is. You got to come back now. Stay where you are. The Bend Radio Show will be right back. Passionate about hunting, conservation, learning, and encouraging others? Watch Buckstorm on YouTube. Weekly videos about what it's really like hunting the Black Hills. Regardless the trophy or left empty-handed, Buckstorm on YouTube shares the real stories. Subscribe today, Buckstorm.
It's all about you. This is Michelle with About You Photography. Super excited to be the official photographer of Tigger and Beck. Other than the ranch, photography and design is what I do for a living. From rodeo and Western sports to the elegant to the tasteful, artistic, beautiful, and private, we can take care of whatever you're needing. If I can make Tigger look good, imagine what I can do for you. Get a hold of me for all of your photography needs, from custom shoots to stock photos.
The calendar has been marked, your aim is on point, and all that's missing is the clothes to take you to the next level. TheTellyOutdoors.com specializes in clothes that fits, wicks, and moves silently while providing comfort and durability. TheTellyOutdoors.com.
In the field, on the farm, or in the saddle, we're right there with you in your pocket, on your phone, and everywhere you go. RFD TV Now. Current ag reports, geo-targeted weather, live streaming 24/7, and our full collection of shows you love at the tip of your finger. At less than $10 a month, it's the cheapest tool on the farm. Download the app today and start watching RFD TV now.
Welcome back to the Bend Radio Show. I'm Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck. Well, folks, I have a little bit of a cooking tip for all of you. You've heard me in other episodes mention about when you are doing your cooking, especially when you're making your chili, say you're browning up some meat to use it maybe for in the future, to always do extra so that you're working ahead. Well, this one's going to help you out too. So say you've got leftover chili. I know you're going, what? Well, yes, it happens. Hey, you know what? It just happened to us. Yes, Tigger made us famous rancher's chili, and we had a bit more than we could handle following a gathering the other weekend. So here is a crazy tip for you all to help you out with the upcoming holidays. You want to impress your wife, the in-laws, friends. Upcoming holiday celebrations are all around the bend. You hear how I put that? Well, here is a twist on the 7-layer dip, right? Put a hunter's twist on it. Follow me here. Take that leftover chili, and if yours is a bit runny, then you're going to want to drain off the excess liquid. If it's like Tigger's famous rancher's chili, then it's really thick and you don't have to worry about it. What you're going to need are aluminum foil pans. Yep, they're easy. You can toss them when you're all done. Well, what you do is you take your aluminum foil pan and make sure you cover it with cooking spray. Spray it really, really, really well. And what you're going to do is take your leftover chili and then you're going to spread it on the bottom as a base layer for a chili bean dip. You've all heard of the 7-layer dip. Well, like I said, we're putting a hunter's twist on it. So yes, you're going to go and take that chili that you have left over and spread it so it's about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick. Now, if you remember too, with chili, it's already been cooked, and you know how you can freeze it. You can freeze it for several months. So don't be afraid to go and make a pan for Super Bowl II right away as you're going on with this. So take that aluminum foil pan, as I said, spray it with cooking spray, Spread over that leftover chili so you have a good 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick. And then I like to go and sprinkle it with a hefty layer of either shredded cheddar cheese or Fiesta cheese, or maybe you're into some of those spicier ones that maybe have jalapeno added to them. Well, make sure you put a good spread of that cheese on that, and then just cover it with tin foil and freeze it. When the holidays come about, or the next family function, or Super Bowl, just make sure to take it out from the freezer, pop it in the oven to warm it up, and then proceed to put your favorite fixings on it. Like I highly suggest using the whipped cream cheese. Spread it all over the top of it, really nice. And then if you want, you could put a little bit of shredded lettuce, or just because I have family members that aren't fans of lettuce, here are some other ideas of toppings to put on top of the cream cheese now. And that would be tomatoes, black olives, green onions, diced bell peppers. Well, there you have it. You have your very own Hunter 7-layer chili dip. Enjoy, just don't forget the chips. Now for Beck's Barrel of the feel-good news. I got some for you here that's going to make you chuckle. We're heading to Texas, where a recently passed Texas grandmother left her family Ouija boards. You heard me right. The Ouija boards
That's
featured...
not right.
I know.
I'm sorry. That's not right.
And get this, she had these made up ahead of time. She put some thought into this. The Ouija boards featured a picture of the beloved grandmother.
Okay, that's just weird all the way. Okay, actually, I don't want to say anything because I don't want something to happen. Continue.
I could have seen my grandma doing this. Along with the caption with her picture, there was a "Let's keep in touch" quote on the game. Her granddaughter did comment saying it was hysterical. Everyone in the family found it hysterical, and that grandma had a great sense of humor and a huge heart. She was a great woman.
Yeah, it's hysterical until all of a sudden you can't find your car keys, and then all of a sudden pictures are upside down, and the fireplace starts on its own, and the oven turns on by its own. Oh, yeah, it's all hysterical.
All right, I got one last story for y'all, and this
that
one...
actually is kind of funny that Granny did that.
See, I told you.
That is kind of
Now
funny.
you're kind of thinking to yourself, what could we do to the ones that we love and leave behind, right? Okay, lastly, this one here caught my eye because we all care about the environment. That's part of us being wildlife conservation type people. Well, have you heard about this out in California? Mentos, yes, as in the breath mint. Mentos has trained raccoons to recycle. The Mentos company hired several of the top animal trainers who spent roughly 40 hours training the raccoons to dig through trash.
It doesn't take much to train a raccoon to dig through trash. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know. They finally found a good job for these critters. Well, anyway.
I could train a raccoon to dig through trash.
They did just
Here's
that.
trash.
They trained these raccoons to, dig through trash.
Did they sort it? Is that what
looking for packaging and bottles specifically with the scent that Mentos has. They put 40 hours into training these raccoons, by the way. Anyway, they did a first trial on it. It was extremely successful. So now Mentos is offering the raccoon recycling force, as they call it, to cities around the country.
Oh, let's spread rabies. There you go. Way to go, Mentos. Way to think that one through.
Mentos is
Marketing program.
claiming a 75% success rate in retrieval of recycled items.
75% success and almost 100% success in spreading more rabies.
This one made me giggle.
Way
All
to
right,
go,
crew.
Mentos.
And all I can say is before you go and decide to train your own recycling raccoon, check your laws. I know in North Dakota, that's one of the states where it's illegal to own. And if memory serves correct, Canada too classifies these as exotic animals.
So
and
in
it's
the
illegal to have these masked fur balls as pets.
In the state of people in North Dakota cannot own a raccoon.
Correct. And if you remember back, they made national news this summer when I believe a lady had a pet raccoon and took it into a bar.
I heard about
Google
that.
that one if you haven't heard about it.
That. And okay.
So there you have it.
Ouija boards to raccoons. My goodness, got it all covered in the bin.
We're going to call this show wrapped. Thank you again to my producer, sound engineer, co-host, and the guy sitting shotgun with me here today, Jeff Tigger Erhardt, Also to our Bend field staffers, Justin Hampton from Ozark Traditions TV and Sean Ayer from ToxicCalls.com. We sure do enjoy hearing how all parts of the country are doing, and we invite you to call in with your area's field reports. That number again is 305-900-BEND. Again, 305-900-2363. As y'all keep making those outdoor memories, and I know many of you, like us too, are kicking off the big deer rifle opener or getting amped up for it next weekend, and depending on where you are and which state, be sure to keep sending in those pictures by email, bendradioshow@gmail.com, and always tagging at The Bend Show on social media. We love hearing and sharing your life with you, whether you're on or off the trail, in the tractor seat, ranching, or tackling that next chapter in the outdoors, hunting to fishing, camping, hiking, or just trying to make it through the week, you know? We want to see it all. We want to see and hear about those memorable moments. If you missed part of this episode or you want to hear past shows, you can find them all on the website, thebendshow.com. Again, that's thebendshow.com. And be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app. If you can't find us, just send me a message and I will get you hooked up. Looking to change things up on your next event, conference, or awards banquet? How about have us, Tigger and Beck, entertain your crowd? From MCs to the event headliner, public speakers to acting as host couple for your event, let us make your gathering extra special. Ranching, rodeo, cattle, hunting, fishing, camping, and so much more. Have you ever thought about having a Calcutta for your fishing event? Well, we're there for you. We're auctioneers too. We have the stories to share and the laughs to be had. Thank you to our partners, Ditelli Outdoors, About You Photography, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, ToxicCalls.com, Wabalo Creek Outfitters, Atlas Tracks, Abrahamson Rodeo Company, RFD TV, and the Cowboy Channel. Finally, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. Remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram at The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Wanner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.